Max. This is Umashankar, JEE Max Mains Advanced Extreme Series. Welcome to Season 2 of JEE Max. So far we have completed 5 lessons and this is lesson number 6 of JEE Max Season 2. And through this Season 2 of JEE Max, we are concentrating on complex numbers chapter. So far we have completed 5 lessons of the complex numbers, and there I have provided all the basic information and the best information, both the analytical way, geometrical and vector orientation, and the basic mathematical operations that involved in the complex numbers I have clearly explained in our with our previous videos. Again, my suggestion is please don't forget to check the description. There I am providing very good assignments, question papers, and everything for you. And here, through this lesson, today we are concentrating on trigonometric form or polar form of the complex number, and geometrical representation of modulus and argument of the complex numbers, and some important deductions of the trigonometric form. And this trigonometric form and polar form, if you are thorough with trigonometric form or polar form of a complex number and the properties of argument and modulus of the complex numbers, you will get complete knowledge on complex numbers and you can solve the problems of the complex numbers very quickly. So okay, one by one we will learn all the things. Now coming to trigonometric or polar form of the complex number. See the definition. If z is equal to x plus iy, that is any complex number is given for you, where x and y are real numbers, then let us define x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta, then r is equal to root of x square plus y square, because by squaring and adding you can get r. By eliminating theta from these two equations, you can get r value, that is root of x square plus y square, and the theta is the solution of the system of equations. Okay. And cos theta is equal to here x by root of x square plus y square, and sin theta is equal to y by root of x square plus y square. Therefore, x plus iy, I can write it as r into cos theta plus I sin theta. Also, this cos theta plus I sin theta we can represent it with e power I theta. This is called Euler's formula. This is called Euler's formula. So, as per Euler's formula, what is e power I theta? That is cos theta plus I sin theta. This is complex notation. Or coordinate form is cos theta sin theta, ordered pair cos theta sin theta. Okay, e power I theta. This is Euler's form. Here cos theta and sin theta, and here r is what? This r is what? Modulus of the complex number. So the same complex number we are represented with in another form with modulus and argument. This is also called polar form or trigonometric form or modulus amplitude form. Modulus amplitude form of complex number or mod amp form of complex number. This is another way. So here I am using 3 terms. One is mod amp form of Z. Next one is trigonometric form. Next one is polar form. All are same. Mod amp form of the complex number is same as trigonometric form of the complex number, which is same as polar form of the complex number. Everything is same. The only thing is, if any equation, any Cartesian equation means the equation in terms of x and y is called Cartesian form. If that can be represented in terms of small r and theta, then that is called polar form. And here trigonometric terms are involved. That's why it is also called trigonometric form. And moreover, here r is nothing but modulus of the complex number and theta is nothing but the amplitude of the complex number. This form is also called mod amp form of the complex number. These are all other different terms and terminology that we have to practice. And e power I theta is represented with what? Cos theta plus I sin theta. Okay. So x plus iy is equal to r into cos theta plus I sin theta. That is equal to r e power I theta. Here theta is what? Principal argument z. So as long as we are representing any complex number in polar form or mod amp form, there the theta is always what? Principal argument z. Please don't use argument or general argument. Only you have to consider principal argument. If nothing has mentioned, don't worry, you have to consider that as what? Principal argument. Okay. So the general form is just you add theta with the 2n pi plus theta. This is called what? A general form. So cos 2n pi plus theta plus I sin 2n pi plus theta, that we can write is r into e power 2n pi plus theta I, where n is integer. Z means integer, or in the place of z I can write that as I, integer, set of integers. Okay. Now geometrical interpretation of modulus and argument. Suppose this is origin and this is real axis and this is imaginary axis, and p of z, this is represented a complex number p whose fx is z, that is x plus iy. This is x plus iy alias xy. Join OP. Join OP. If the distance between O and P is r, that means r is equal to root of a square, x square plus y square. And if this OP bar makes an angle theta in positive direction or in anti-clockwise direction with the real axis, and that theta lies between minus pi to pi, and that theta lies between minus pi to pi, then this I can represent it with e power r into e power I theta. So if you know r and the OP bar makes an angle theta in anti-clockwise direction, that is in positive direction of real axis, then we can represent that complex number p of z alias x comma y as r e power I theta. This is what geometrical representation of modulus and argument. So here this is the geometrical representation of modulus, and here this represents the geometrical representation of argument. So the line OP or the vector OP which makes an angle in anti-clockwise direction with real axis is called argument, and the distance between the point P, corresponding point P of the complex number and origin, is nothing but the modulus. This is the geometrical interpretation of modulus and argument. Okay, my friend, this I have mentioned here. This I have shown here for you very clearly through this diagram. Clear all of you? Now, this is about z is equal to r e power I theta. So whenever I am representing z is equal to r e power I theta, so immediately you put a point P and join OP, that distance is r, and theta is what? That OP makes an angle with in anti-clockwise direction, positive direction, anti-clockwise direction, everything same. With what? With the real axis. With the real axis. That's why please try to understand the notation here. Okay. Now z is equal to x plus iy, which is a non-zero complex number, the vector OP, and OP is equal to mod z, which is equal to r. So mod z is the distance of z from O. The magnitude of the angle theta through which x-axis must turn in anti-clockwise to the first coincide with the vector OP bar if it is less than or equal to pi, and in clockwise direction if it is greater than pi. Clear? So my friends, this is the situation. So the same vector, if I have turned in a second, then it is what? The theta is more than pi. If the theta is more than pi, then the complex number is on what? Second quadrant. If theta is more than pi, then the complex number is in third, fourth quadrant. If the theta is more than 3 pi by 2, then the complex number is in the fourth quadrant. That is, through graphs, I am representing like this. If theta greater than pi, that means if that angle is more than pi, then the principal argument is theta minus 2 pi, because always the principal argument is lie between what? Minus pi to pi. That is important. So whenever theta is more than pi, this theta is more than pi, then we can represent that angle as theta minus 2 pi. Whenever that angle is theta minus 2 pi, that is like this only. And similarly, if it is more than, if it is in fourth quadrant, that means if theta is equal to pi plus alpha, if theta is equal to pi plus alpha, that means that with the principal argument of z is minus of pi minus alpha. So you just imagine how we are rotating clockwise and anti-clockwise. If you are by based upon the principal argument, we are locating where the position of the point lies. If we see very carefully, if theta is more than pi, it is in like this. If theta is more than pi by 2, or if theta is less than or equal to pi, if theta is less than or equal to pi, the situation is like this. If theta is more than pi, the situation is like this. If theta is more than pi, the situation is like this. If theta is equal to pi plus alpha, then the situation is like this. Okay, so based upon the argument, we can imagine or we can assess the position of that corresponding complex number on the arcand plane. This is about the geometrical interpretation of the complex. So this is in a positive angle. See, this is in a positive direction, that we can represent it with minus alpha, because this is minus alpha, because this is minus alpha in positive direction. The same theta, that's the same alpha, we can write it as what, minus alpha here. So if it is in fourth quadrant, we can write like this one, because always the values of a principal argument lie between what, minus pi and pi. Clear? So all values which are lie in the first quadrant represented with theta, all values which are lie in second quadrant we represented with the pi minus theta, all values which lie in the third quadrant we represented with pi plus theta, and all values which are in the fourth quadrant we represented with minus theta. But anyhow, the principal argument is always lie between minus pi and pi. You imagine those diagrams very carefully, you will get the location and the position of the complex number correspondingly. Okay. Now coming to the deduction of the trigonometric form. Now, modulus and argument of the product and quotient. Suppose Z1 is equal to R1 cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1, that is R1 e power I theta 1 is given for you. Z2 is equal to R2 cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2, that is R2 e power I theta 2 is given for you. So here Z1 is equal to this one, Z2 is equal to R2. Theta 1 is principal argument Z1 and theta 2 equal to RZ2. Then Z1, Z2, product of modulus and arguments of product and quotient. Now, product of two complex numbers. This is R1, R2 e power I theta 1 plus theta 2. Z1 by Z2 is R1 by R2 e power I into theta 1 minus theta 2. So here R1, R2 represent what? Modulus of Z1, Z2. So modulus of Z1, Z2 is equal to R1, R2 alias mod Z1 into mod Z2. That's why in our properties of modulus of complex numbers, this property I have told in our previous video also. Similarly, quotient of mod of Z1 by Z2 is equal to, here it is represented with R1 by R2. R1 means mod Z1 and R2 is mod Z2, where Z2 not equal to 0. This is what modulus of the quotient of the complex numbers is equal to quotient modulus of the complex numbers individually. Okay. Now, argument of Z1, Z2 is equal to theta 1 plus theta 2, because why theta 1 plus theta 2? Because this is what argument of Z1, Z2, and this is what argument of Z1 by Z2. So, argument of Z1, Z2 is equal to theta 1 plus theta 2, which is arg Z1 plus arg Z2. This is also another important formula you have to practice. Argument of Z1 by Z2 equal to theta 1 minus theta 2, which is arg Z1 minus arg Z2. These two formulae play very good role in coming problems. So please practice. Argument of Z1, Z2 is equal to argument Z1 plus argument Z2. Argument of Z1 by Z2 is equal to argument Z1 minus argument Z2. Based on this, several times even advanced examination, mains examination questions were repeated. Even it is very, very useful for board examinations also. So we should have some special care of all results involving with the arguments. What are those special cases? In the results of 1 and 2, in LHS, the general values of the arguments are used. Actually, here in LHS, this is RHS. Here in LHS, the general values of the arguments are used, not principal. So, argument of Z1, Z2 is equal to arg Z1 plus arg Z2. This holds good only for general values, not for principal arguments. So there is no formula like principal argument of Z1 Z2 is equal to principal argument Z1 plus need not be. So principal argument Z1 Z2 not necessarily be equal to principal argument Z1 plus principal argument Z2. That I will explain in the with the counter examples also. So whenever I am using argument of Z1 Z2 or argument of Z1 by Z2, they are what? They are the general values. They are the general values of the argument, not the principal values. If you are using the principal values, you may get wrong answers. See, for example, if Z1 is equal to minus root 3 plus I, Z2 is equal to minus 1 plus I root 3. What is principal argument Z1? 5 pi by 3. Principal argument Z2, 2 pi by 3. So what is Z1 Z2? This is minus 4i. So principal argument Z1 Z2 is equal to minus pi by 2. As formula, principal argument Z1 Z2 is equal to principal argument Z1 plus principal argument Z2, that is 5 pi by 6 plus 2 pi by 3, which is not equal to pi by 2. Which is not equal to pi by 2. That's why in the above formula, there we have mentioned only the arguments, not principal arguments. So this is the best and counter example. So whenever I am using argument of Z1 Z2 is equal to argument Z1 plus argument Z2, there I have to consider only the general value, not the principal value. Similarly, even for quotient also. Okay, friends? Similarly, the same result even for the quotient also. Now coming to with the help of these, the most important theorems that we are going to derive is, what is cos alpha plus I sin alpha into cos beta plus I sin beta? What is cos alpha plus I sin alpha? This I can write it as e power I alpha Euler's form. This is e power I beta, that is e power I alpha plus beta, which I can write it as cos alpha plus beta plus I sin alpha plus beta. This cos alpha plus I sin alpha, also we can write it as cis alpha. And cos beta plus I sin beta, we can also write it as cis beta. Here I introduced a new terms, cis alpha, cis. Cis means cos plus I sin. Cos plus I sin. Cis theta means cos theta plus I sin theta. Nothing but e power I theta. So cis alpha into cis beta is equal to cis of alpha plus beta. Equal to cis of alpha plus beta. This is the formula. What is cis of alpha plus beta? Cos alpha plus beta plus I sin alpha plus beta. Don't get any confusion. Okay, cis is different from cos. CIS, cis. Okay, so what is cis theta? Cos theta plus I sin theta. And cos alpha plus I sin alpha by cos beta plus I sin beta is equal to e power I alpha by e power I beta, that is e power I into alpha minus beta. This I can write it as cos alpha minus beta plus I sin alpha beta. This also I can write it as what? Cis alpha minus beta. This is another notation. Also, 1 by cos alpha plus I sin alpha, which is nothing but what? 1 by e power I alpha, that is e power minus I alpha. That is cos of minus alpha plus I sin of minus alpha. That is cos alpha minus I sin alpha. That's why reciprocal of cos alpha plus I sin alpha is cos alpha minus I sin alpha. And reciprocal of cos alpha minus I sin alpha is cos alpha plus I sin alpha. Because the product is always equal to 1. Now, e power I alpha plus e power minus I alpha equal to 2 cos alpha. This is also the formula to represent the cos theta, and so by subtraction e power I alpha minus e power minus I alpha equal to 2i sin alpha. From equation 1, pi means a product. Pi r is equal to 1 to n cos r theta plus I sin r theta is equal to pi r is equal to 1 to n e power I r theta. E power I r theta means e power r theta into e power e power not r theta, I theta, next to 2i theta, e power 3i theta, and so on, e power ni theta. That is e power I into theta plus 2 theta plus and so on plus n theta. That is e power I into theta 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on plus n into theta. That is e power I into n plus 1 by 2 theta. That is cos n into n plus 1 by 2 theta plus I sin n into n plus 1 by 2 theta. Okay, na? So the same thing. So product, pi means product, sigma means sum. Pi means product, sigma means sum. We can represent the notations like this. Here cos theta r plus I sin theta r, cos theta r plus I sin theta r, that is pi. This is e power I theta r. What is pi e power I theta, or e power I theta 1 into e power I theta 2 into e power I theta 3 and so on, e power I theta n. That is e power I into theta 1 plus theta 2 and so on plus theta n. That is what e power I sigma theta n. That is what cos sigma theta n plus I sin sigma theta n. We can write like this. So these are all are what sigma and pi notations, and these are all of the deductions of those particular cis forms. Okay, and hope you like this video. You please share and subscribe my channel, and please don't forget to check the press the bell icon, and we will meet with the next video soon in complex numbers of season 3 of JEE Max. Okay, my friends, thank you.